Welcome to the Social Chameleon Show, where it's our goal to help you learn, grow, and transform into the person you want to become. Today, episode 30. Man, I can't believe we're on 30. Here we are. Book review time. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff.
Nice.
By Dr. Richard Carlson. I guess a little quick thing on him. During his life, Dr. Richard Carlson was considered one of the foremost experts in happiness and stress reduction in the United States and around the world.
Oh.
I don't understand how that could be, but that's what they say.
Hey, man. It's expert, dude.
But it's a fun little book. It's kind of cute. I like to think of it when we were chatting about it is like a field manual. I guess for you guys that don't know what a field manual is, it's kind of something like a military kind of term where it's just like a reference book kind of thing. We can carry it around with you, pull it out and do. What about you? What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess because I've read a lot of books like this.
Mm-hmm.
Say like we did Power of Intention, right? And it's very similar to that. Like The Secret. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Something of those kinds of natures, like it's just, it feels a lot or like more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if I don't know, man, it's like you put the tape in. I don't know, those of you watching, I don't know your age range, maybe I'm showing my age, but
yeah,
back in the day we had these things called cassette tapes, Guardians of the Galaxy,
right?
But you put that in and like you listen to side A and you're like, all right, and then like you flip it over to side B, and then like it's not side B, it's just like side A all over again, but kind of different, but the same. I was like,
side A too.
You're like, dude, like I flipped it. You flip the tape again, and you're like back on side A, and you're like, dude, where's side B? Like I'm waiting for side B. So I don't know. If I could shed a little light on the book, I'm not trying to say that it sucks. I mean, if you've never been introduced to stuff like that, either Power of Intention or The Secret or things that are kind of heavy on gratitude, definitely read this book for sure. Yeah. But if you've had a taste of those before, this book is probably just more of the same. To say it, but it's probably a skip on my part. But again, I guess shedding light on it, when I read Power of Intention, that was more of a spiritual book. Like I told you when we did that book review, I wasn't even sure if you were going to watch it. I mean, if you read it, I was like, dude, I like this book. I don't know. It feels kind of spiritual and more religious, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was. And like I had said then, in a different time in my life, I would have told you, go fuck yourself. But
right, exactly.
I enjoyed it. And then this isn't so much.
Right. That's what I mean. Like this book is not that religious, right? It doesn't have that spiritual feeling, but it has a lot of the same principles, which, you know what I mean? If you're not into religion or you got turned away from Power of Intention or Secret because it felt, you know what I mean? Spiritual for you, this book would probably be a lot better to swallow, maybe.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying it's like a field manual. Something, it's easy to pick up. There's 100 like bullet point things. You can just kind of skim through those, find something you're kind of struggling with or looking to improve and just hit that real quick.
Field manual is kind of like a bit intense. I maybe just say like a pocket book to have.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
One of those books that, it's just on the shelf and you're like, you know what? I haven't looked at it in a while. You just grab it, flip to it and be like, okay, let's read what this is today. Just pick any random page, go flip to it and do, but trying to get the good stuff out of it. Other than that, this book was very, very repetitive and more repetitive if I haven't repeated myself.
Did you feel like it was a little repetitive?
Dick. Yeah, but I mean, I guess without further ado, we can kind of dive into it.
Well, before that, I'd like to kind of preface something. People, even before I used to shy away from things like, I already heard that, I already know that. And what I've learned kind of is sometimes it's good to drill those down because you're always going to come up with a new thought or a new aha moment. So I wouldn't say don't shy away from, I read this book, I'll never read it again, or I've seen this, I'll never do it again. Like sometimes, go through it again, maybe a year or whatever later or something. Maybe it's been a while since you've read something like this. Pick it up and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or, oh yeah, I should start doing this or whatever. Like, Bill Walsh liked to say, knowledge is rarely imparted on the first attempt. So don't shy away from that second or third round at a book or a passage or something like that. You always have the opportunity to pick up something new from it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely as the time goes by, like you change, and as you change, the information you receive changes. But again, reading this book through, like I read it just in the last maybe 3-4 days, like just, it's more of the same message, just throughout the book. So again, a little pocket book, so call it, just kind of flip through pages here and there and just pick something up and be like, oh yeah, I knew that, but you know what? Thanks for the reminder, kind of thing. Yeah. I think that'd probably be the best way.
And then when we were kind of going through this, we the book isn't broken up this way, but we felt that we pulled out some like themes from it. Maybe he should have done this, but we pulled out a few different themes and kind of group things together.
I think he just kind of threw it in there at random, for the purpose of that. But yeah, definitely, item 1 on the list, and then item, say like 7, and then item 4, like they kind of follow similar themes. The book isn't done this way. Please don't think the book is organized in any which way, shape, or form in this manner. Again, we were just trying to express that the book has a lot of repetitive information.
Could you repeat that?
It keeps going. Anyway, so first theme would be gratitude. I kind of like this first bullet point here that we have, because he just talks about the theme of gratitude, and one of the bullet points within that theme is tell 3 people today how much you love them. If you were to die in 1 hour, there's 3 questions, right? Who would you call? What would you say? And then the last question is, why are you waiting? It's like, oof.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why are you waiting?
Pause this, get your phone out, and start texting some people.
Yeah.
Tell your mama you love her.
Yeah. Or, maybe you haven't, just like me, I haven't talked to my brother in a while. Just, pick up the phone or just even send a text message and be like, hey, but this is just one good example, right, of kind of the ongoing theme of this is like, you know what I mean? Like it gets you to kind of think about what to focus on. You know what I mean? And a lot of that is kind of coming from a place of either gratitude or peace or something of that nature, so on and so forth. And again, one of the other bullet points he talks about is write a heartfelt letter to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, you see how those 2 things are kind of the same?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just said in a different manner. But like, the book is kind of all about that. So just, if you're trying to read it like you would like Harry Potter or something, it's probably not going to work out for you.
Yeah, this is a book you could easily skip around and look through the table of contents, and there's 100 things. You can just like find something what is that? It's interesting. You can just bounce all around this book. Yeah.
And again, like I said, these are just kind of the similar. What are the other things you got here? Is gratitude. And just going down this list.
Imagine yourself at your own funeral.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ooh, like wow, like what people say about you, like what was the thing? I was doing something this morning and I was like, there's gonna be one day soon where you're not gonna be able to do anything or go any place anymore. Like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, like dang. That's like we were talking about before, like that bucket list and stuff. Like, why are you waiting? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's like imagine, like what are people gonna say about you at your funeral? Like, are they gonna miss you? Or like, is anybody gonna remember you? Or, like, are you reaching out to these people?
You know what I mean? What do you want to be remembered by, or what do you want others to remember you for? That
right.
Kind of stuff.
Even if you're not, you don't have to be famous to be remembered, but your family and your friends, you can be like, oh man, I was like the best dad, or he was the best brother or sister or cousin or whatever it was, a friend. And it's like, he was always there to help. He's always reaching out and sending me letters and texts. How you doing? How's everything going? Like me, I'm horrible at that kind of stuff. Like I just get going with my day. And it's like, I'll bump into somebody or somebody will shoot me a message. I'm like, dang, how are you doing? It's like, why don't you call? I'm like, why don't you call? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, just that kind of stuff, again, focusing on the whole gratitude, positive energy kind of thing.
Yeah.
some of the other ones is what, spend a moment every day and think of somebody to thank.
Right.
And it's just like, again, this is all about being grateful for things in your life and kind of focusing on the good things, you know.
Yep.
I myself can't stress that that's one of the better things in life. Like, you can have everything in the world. Like, you know what I mean? You can make your goals, you can set out your goal, but you know, if having enough is never going to be enough if you're not grateful for what you have, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you bring gratitude into your life and you make that a daily, if not maybe a weekly practice, the things in your views on things and the things you go is just going to change so dramatically. Like, just being so grateful to wake up, to be able to have the money and the time and leisure to be watching us and learning from what we have to say and getting ideas. Like, there's a lot of people in this world that just don't have that ability, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that was even in Wayne Dyer's book, right? Change the way you look at things. And
the things you look at will change.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I can't stress that enough. This book does a really good job of drilling it into you. You know, what are some of the other things they had on there on, like, gratitude?
Thanking the people around you and you know, all the different things. You know, one of the powerful things is the first thing when you wake up in the morning, if you make that part of your practice, you know, you wake up and just be thankful you woke up, because I looked it up a few weeks or a month ago, like 3,000 people every day don't wake up, you know, like, I think that was just in America, if not, maybe not worldwide. Like, Titus was asking me, you know, about it, and I was like, hey, let's look this up, you know, all these kind of things. Like, you wake up, the first thing, wake up, it's like, you had a place to sleep. Maybe it's not the greatest, but whatever, you know. There's so many things, especially when you first wake up and you set your day that way. Like, I'm gonna set my day up to be grateful for all the things that are gonna come, the problems, the good, the bad, the misfortune, the learning lessons, the failures. Like, you can just be grateful for all that from the first get-go in the morning.
And that's one of the things that, you know, again, I like to shed light on this book is this, it's kind of a spiritual peacefulness without being so religious or spiritual. And this kind of one of the things that I like about it. And, you know, all of this positiveness and coming from a place of being grateful and abundance, like, it has a chain effect.
Yeah.
You know, along the lines, again, one of the things that it puts in there is just smile at strangers. Like, actually,
I like that.
Smile at them and say hello.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that, just that nice, warm hello. And like, if you're genuine about it, like, you know what I mean? That person that person at the office is always like looking down and walking by. Like, you actually look at them and say hello. They might actually look back up and be like, wow, like, that guy knows who I am. You know what I mean?
You can maybe break on the song. Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
Oh, goodness. I always think of Mr. Miyagi. Look, then look,
But it's funny, like, the reactions. Like, I bet people I'll be walking in, they're like, fucking weirdo. What are you doing? Smiling at me. What's wrong with you? It's like,
yeah, but that's just
all right.
That's just where they live their day.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's kind of unfortunate that that's where they live, but that's real. And that's kind of why the book is, like, you know, out there, and people like these kinds of books is because like, you can live your day like that. You know what I mean? That guy was like, what's wrong with you? Like, he may have $1 million. He may be a billionaire.
Yeah.
You're not happy. Or he or she happy. They're upset with their life. They're frustrated, you know? It's just weird. And
be weird. Smile at people. Wave high.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I get sometimes I get highs back. Sometimes I get creep, you know, like, whatever.
Yeah, it works. And this
I just
kind
laugh and keep going.
And then I guess one more bullet. I'm trying not to friggin' beat this dead horse, but along the same lines of abundance and gratitude is just practice random acts of kindness. You know?
Heck yeah.
You know, get out there and just see the senseless beauty that's out there. You know
what I did after? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
After reading these last few book reviews we did, Wayne Dyer and these other things, I went to the bank and I got $50 in ones, and I just keep it in my car and I just pass it out. People are like, Yeah, it's just like, I was like,
not at the strip club.
Not the strip club, man. I got some weird looks at the bank. Like, here's your one, sir. I'm gonna give it to strangers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, candy. You don't know candy and cookie, huh? Like, man. But it's been fun. Like, you get some weird looks, but it's like, whatever, it's fun. Like, you know, I've been having fun with it.
Yeah, I always like tip. Like the minimum amount of tip I give is $20. I mean, $20, 20% for some reason. And like, if they do a good job, I tip them even more. Sometimes 30, sometimes 50%. It's weird.
I don't tip them unless they do a good job.
But I'm just saying, we're not here to be Mr. White, okay? Mr. White. Just because society deems you tip, you don't have to tip. I'm just saying, it's a random act of kindness.
Yes, you know? I'd rather do that.
It's like that person is not expecting. It's like that waiter is just doing their thing, whether they give good service or not, whatever. Just give them 50% tip. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, like that person would have never expected that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hopefully they don't just be like, oh, see you sucker, money. But,
right.
You know, whatever.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing I learned in, I don't know which book it was. It's like, what does it matter, like, what the person does with the money when you give it to them? Nope. You know, like, what is that concern of yours? What is that your business? They want to go buy drugs or drinks or hamburgers. What is it to you? Yeah. I was like, oh, I like that. Like, that's clean. Because that's what I always think, too. I was like, I ain't giving this fucker no money. Like, you're just going to do dumb shit. Like, and then I was like, you know what? What does it matter to me? I do dumb shit all the time.
Yeah, it is. But, yeah, I don't know. Again, this book has a lot of repeat stuff in it. But
should we go back to the beginning of this section? And
yeah. So about gratitude.
About gratitude.
Another no, hell no.
Nah.
That's kind of what this book is about, like, seriously.
Yeah, there's a lot of heavy, and that's good. I mean, a lot of good ideas, a lot of fun stuff you can do, freak people out, go smile at them and hand them fucking $2 that you're just gonna blow somebody's mind.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, what just happened?
Guy's gonna rape me. I'm just joking.
Yeah, but I guess theme number 2 that I kind of saw throughout, and again, these are all just positive, good vibes kind of thing, is just they have this thing about like trying to just pause and let things be. You know? Also
known as patience.
Patience. Master Obi-Wan over here.
I am not good at patience. I shall practice.
I shall practice.
Often. Little children will help you practice patience.
Yeah, that is definitely true. That is definitely true.
Sweep the floor. Come on.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah. But yeah, so some of the bullet points here as far as patience go are kind of I like this one. This is actually kind of cool. It's like, repeat to yourself, life isn't an emergency. It's like,
yes.
A lot of times people, I mean, it is an emergency, right? Like,
yeah.
It's like, man, I gotta go to work today.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I gotta wash my clothes today. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Like,
yeah. Hey, you don't gotta do shit. Like,
it's true.
You just don't. I hear it all the time. I gotta do this stuff. I was like, you don't actually. A couple of people are like, you know what? I actually don't. I'm like,
well, then you have those people out there. It's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
You don't understand. It's like, listen, lady, you're causing your own stress here. Okay?
Yes.
I'm not saying anything to you. You're thinking of this in a totally wrong way.
So, I got a quick story on that. Somebody told me this other day. So I guess a friend of theirs got a call from the IRS. Like, you owe us $1,000 if you don't pay in 24 hours. We're sending the cops, and she's so freaked out. She's like, oh my God. She went to the bank, went to Target and bought a bunch of gift cards and gave it to them. I'm like,
what?
Why does the IRS need iTunes gift cards? Like, and through the whole thing, she was so panicked because it was such an emergency to hurry up and go get this done. She didn't stop to think, like, why does the IRS want $1,000 in gift cards?
Yeah, I wasn't talking about scams. I was just...
No, but I'm just saying, when you live in this, everything's an emergency. Like, you know, you can't stop and you know, think for that second and saying, you know, it isn't an emergency. I don't have to go do this. Like, stop for that second, take that 5 or 10-second breath and say, okay, what is going on? What do I need to do? You know,
like,
how do I need to move forward with this?
oh, is it that time? I guess, is that me or is that you?
Oh, it might be both of us. A test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. Sorry, guys.
I don't know if those of you guys are out there in Honolulu, but it's definitely not a missile warning.
Yeah. I got two. Apparently we have a tropical storm here in Arizona too, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. So that's maybe everybody's phone's going off right now. Yeah. But you know, other things he's got on this bullet are, you know, your inbox is not going to be empty when you die. Like,
yeah,
they're going to have stuff in it.
That was one of my favorites from the book. Like, I've been using that one.
It's like, no matter how hard you try to get that thing empty, like in 5 seconds, you're going to get another email. So like,
there's always going to be more work to do. There's always going to be something.
It's like, is it really, really important that you clear that inbox out before you go home?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Or before you go to sleep in your bed.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, oh, I'm ready to go to sleep. Bing! Oh, okay, I got to hand this one before I go to sleep. You're never going to sleep.
Never. I turn off my phone. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. But again, so, you know, kind of similar themes with all of these is just life's not an emergency. The other one is like experiment with your back burner. Just kind of put things out there in your back burner.
Yeah.
You know, let them simmer down.
And that's a good thing too. A lot of times when you're stuck or you got a problem or you're struggling with something, like taking that time away from it, like, let's put this in the back of my mind, maybe go for a walk or go to sleep or whatever. Like, you know, let your mind just like churn on it, you know, in the subconscious. And then you're going to come up with an answer or a solution, or you're going to forget about it. And it wasn't that important anyway. So,
yeah. And sometimes you got to step away from the problem to like get an answer. Like, again, if you're in this whole life is in emergency mode, this new problem comes along and like you're in this panic and you're frenzy, like you're in the wrong state of mind. Like sometimes just, you know what I mean? Like you think you need to handle it right then and there, but just wait for a little bit and the answer will come.
Yeah. What was that other one too? When you don't have to take on other people's problems.
Yeah, I think it's like you don't have to catch the ball or something like that.
Yeah, right. I thought that was clever too, because it's like, you know, when somebody calls you or emails you or whatever, and it's like with their problem, you don't have to make it your problem. Like, you don't have to have the answer or the solution or whatever.
I mean, a lot of times people feel good about that. Like for me, like when people come to me, like I usually can, you know, take on the stress of things and kind of solve that for them. But, you know, you don't have to. You know? That's completely and utterly up to you. I mean, this may be a dear friend of yours, and maybe a close family member. You know what I mean? Like maybe your dad asking you for money, or maybe your neighbor trying to sell you their toaster. I mean, whatever the case might be, you know, just don't. You like that?
I like that.
You don't have to get involved with that. You know, take a step back, put it on your back burner, or just tell that person, hey, you know what? Just give me a second, you know, and I'll get back to you. Like you don't have to take that on.
Yeah, you know? And it reminds me too. I was talking to my wife the other day. She was stressing out about some work things, and she was talking to me, and I was like, "Oh, I got solutions." And I was like, "This isn't the time." Like, I think she just wants to like let this out, and I just should just listen.
Yeah, you definitely need to put those solutions on the back burner.
I was like, if you just stop time out for like 5 seconds right now, I'll solve all your problems.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you're not looking for problem solving. You're just looking to talk right now. So, okay.
You're just trying to get that out in bed. And sometimes that's important too. It's like, sometimes you just got to be aware of what other people, don't jump to conclusions about what it is they need either. You know? Some of the other good things here is like breathe before you speak. It's like in that situation where, you know, your wife's talking to you, like if you just would have take a moment to breathe and be like, and you know, instead of just being like, hey, I got your solutions, just be like, you know, she just keep going, and you'd be like, oh, she doesn't really need that problem solved. This is the next problem. You know what I mean?
And that was so hard for me to just be quiet and just listen and not say anything. I was like,
yeah,
good job. What else happened?
Yeah.
At the end of your story now? Okay.
But yeah, I mean, also breathing has like physiological and you know, effects on the body as well. helps get oxygen in there, those kinds of stuff. And
yeah, you can. There's different techniques for, like, you know, calming yourself, or, you know, whether you're mad or stressed out or whatever. There's all kind of cool breathing techniques for different kinds of things like that.
Yeah. What are some of the other things he had on this whole patience and?
Doing things one at a time. We all know we like to multitask, which there ain't no such thing. You're just half-tasking everything.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of makes you a bit more efficient. But yeah, again, that teaches you to kind of put things on your back burner too. It's like, I got this list of 100 things to do today. Okay. 99 of them need to go on the back burner.
Yeah. And that's like I'm sure we've talked about before, like setting out, you know, after the end of your day, work day or whatever, how you want to do it, setting your thing, like here's the 6 things in order of, you know, hardest to least or whatever I need to knock out tomorrow. Like if I get, you know, these 3 or 6, no more than 6 things done, to everything else, you know, tomorrow's a win. You know, setting those out, getting those done, finding a time of day where you work the best at problem solving and creativity, and, you know, making your day so that you can be tackling the tasks you need to tackle at your most productive time.
Yeah, we talked about that before. And some of the other things. I guess another bullet point I'm finding here is just like practice being in the eye of the storm, man. It's just like, you got a million things going on around you. It's like, you know, you just got to kind of slow down. It's just like, I mean, you're in the eye of the storm right now. It's like nothing's hitting you immediately. It's like, this is where it gets calm, but you got to practice being there with all these things going around you. And,
the chaos is on the outside of you as you sit through the middle where it's beautiful and nothing's quite happening.
You know, and a lot of people, I don't think, realize that you can put your place there. You know, it's like we were talking about earlier, you don't have to grab the ball every time. It's like somebody's coming to you with this outside chaos, right, that's outside of you. You know what I mean? Like if you practice being in the eye of the storm, you actually realize that you are in the eye. The storm is right there. Yeah. Like it's up to you to walk into that storm. You know what I'm saying?
Or keep it at bay.
Yeah, just keep it at bay. Just stay right in the eye and just let it kind of swirl around you. I mean, there's times when you got to act, but you know, for the most part, again, this book is about just being positive and being grateful for things that are out there. And this is just one of the themes too. It's like sometimes you just kind of got to pause and let things be.
Yeah, and understand that being in that darkness or going through those crazy things, like there's going to be good at the end of that. And, you know, understand that, believe that to be, you know, be the truth, and life's not always going to be a shitstorm.
Well, yeah, there are times.
There are times. Absolutely. We all go through it. We all have it. I don't care how rich or poor or whatever you are.
And literally sometimes.
Yeah. A little too much cracking and Coke. I'll have my fair share.
Yeah.
And then I guess kind of the last-ish thing in this section was get comfortable not knowing.
Yeah, like
that's hot. So many people have to like pretend like they have an answer. I've been guilty of that 1,000 times.
Yeah,
like, I know the answer to this. Like I'm gonna make some shit up, maybe even.
You gotta have the last word, right? Or like even if it's like not something like you're just gonna make up, you just say it with confidence. Like
right.
Yeah, like sometimes you sound more confident. You're just like, you know what? I don't really know very much on that subject.
Yeah. Or even the classic, you know, kind of, you know, I don't know, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's more respectable. It's like, God damn, he knows what he doesn't know. Like, that's awesome. You're talking out the side of your ass. That's clean.
Yeah. And some people are looking for that, you know, it's like they're looking to see if you're just going to come up with something.
Yeah.
Just despite whatever. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. It kind of depends.
Yeah. And then with the next section we have here, we broke out was priorities.
Yeah. Yep. Priorities.
Choose your battles wisely.
Choose your battles wisely. Yeah. And this is the part where like you either make it a big deal or you let it go.
Right.
Again, practicing and see if you can see like how all of these themes are similar and like how some of this like choose your battles wisely, like make it a big deal or let it go. It's like kind of like practicing being in the eye of the storm.
Yeah. Life's not an emergency.
You know, it's like, again, this book is, you know, rather repetitive. But yeah.
Are you getting exhausted of repeating yourself?
I'm not, because I know I'm not repeating myself as much as this book does. But at the same time,
But
again, we're just kind of trying to pick themes,
yeah,
go along the lines, and just kind of give you a gist of things. The book is a little bit more random,
mm-hmm.
just puts things here and there. But yeah,
but it's good to know. When it's time to just sit back and be quiet, and there's power in letting people just bullshit themselves into their demise. There's power there. Letting people, show their true colors or whatever it is. You don't have to get involved. I know it's hard. I have a hard time with that shit sometimes too, but it's a good something to practice.
That can also work too, is like if somebody's looking for a solution to their problem, sometimes if you just kick back and let them talk, like they'll kind of come up with a solution to their problem.
Yeah, they'll talk to them. I've been in sessions, whatever, coaching people, and it's just like, you just talked yourself into the solution. Like, I didn't even have to say a dang thing.
Yeah. And it's just like, you can't win every battle.
Right.
It's impossible, and even if you win every battle, you may lose the war, ironically. You gotta focus on what's important. That's another one of these bullets of pride, is like, focus on what's important. Know what's important to you so that you can fight that battle versus the ones that aren't important and they're irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
You don't gotta win that. You don't have to pick that ball up.
Yeah. Or even understanding what is in your control, what you can control, what's out of your control. Understanding those things too will help you. Like, is this something that I can directly control their behavior, outcome, whatever it is? And it's like, no, what, I can't. This is not my, not my domain or whatever. And it's like, this isn't a battle for me. I'll do, I'll work where I can work and on myself and the things that I can directly control and influence. Yeah,
for sure. And again, these are just kind of some of the themes. And as you can see, if you're listening to this, some of the stuff might be repetitive or whatever. But Tyson and I kind of added stuff that we thought was cool.
Yeah.
Stuff that we thought was like either like newer or stuff that, hasn't been heard as much as the rest of the book has been. So why don't we share on some of that?
Yeah. Surrender to the fact that life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Well, ain't that some shit?
It's like, here's a well-qualified list of everything life owes you. And for those of you on the podcast, this piece of paper is blank.
Completely blank. Nobody owes you shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't care what you think. Ain't nobody owe you a goddamn thing. Even that trust fund you got, ain't nobody owe you that shit either. You just lucky.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, if you can surrender to that fact, then that, again, leaves you open to, gratefulness. It's
right.
You're happy for the things that you do have, because, in actuality, you shouldn't really have anything.
Yeah. And a lot of people listening, I mean, you're lucky to no choice or action of your own, born in America. Most people probably on here are middle class or more. Like, a lot of times that ain't nothing to do with you. Like, you just were lucky parents in the situation you were born into, or you recognize that I can work my ass out of the ghettos,
Oh yeah, whatever the case might be. It's just like, you don't need to compare yourself to others or anything else. Like, it's just you.
Yep.
Pity is a self-defeating emotion. You're gonna feel sorry for yourself. Guess what? You're gonna feel like a sorry sap.
And ain't nobody give a shit about that. Like, you just bye. I don't care.
You gotta stop there. Yeah. Some of the other cool things on here is like, allow yourself to be bored.
That one, man. That I've been. It's funny. I've been kind of hearing that trembling a little bit lately, and I've been like, what is this thing? Like, that is interesting stuff. Like, it's so easy nowadays to never be bored, and
Well, that's just part of who we are, right? It's like, as soon as it's like as soon as you get home, it's like, oh, I gotta watch that episode, and as soon as that episode's over, it's like, oh, I gotta go cook dinner. Right. Oh, I gotta do laundry. It's like,
or I'm standing in line here. I gotta get my phone. What's on here? I don't want to be bored. I gotta keep myself entertained for the 14 seconds I'm in line at the grocery store. I've been trying to do that one. Like, I was listening to a podcast and it's like really like heartfelt moving thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to shut down right here. I said like another like 30-minute drive home. I'm just going to shut it down right here. I'm just going to let that sit all the way home. That was freaking hard, man. I was like, it's been like 7 minutes now. I should throw something on. Like, and I was like, nah, let's just ride that through. Like that's tough, you know, like to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most people think right now having something to do is going to be like the end of life. Like,
right.
But that's not true. Like before the internet, people they did things, you know, they were bored.
Yeah. Are we there yet?
I like some of the other things is like this guy says is like boredom eventually it upgrades into peace.
Yes. Yeah, but it's funny, like when you get bored, you're just allowing your mind to relax and just be free and kind of unwind a little bit and start to wander, and all these things you had maybe on the back burner or whatever are gonna be, oh, there it is. There's a solution, or there's this idea. Like they just pop up.
That's why you have that notepad right next to your bed, right before you fall asleep, right? Like that's where
I've woke up in the middle of the night and be like, oh dang, and then just wake up in the morning and be like, what was that about? Like
but yeah, I don't know. It's just I kind of like that one. Reminds me.
No, that's a good one.
Reminds me of Infinite Water. It's just like peace. It's like I don't know.
No, that's good. I like that. I was trying to tell my daughter, like, she's like, you know, I'm kind of. She was just on break and she was just plowing through the internet. She's like, you know, I kind of over the internet for like the rest of today. And I was like, you should be bored for like 15 minutes. She's like, why would I do that? I was like, just try it. It's good for you. No.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to go read a book. And I was like, just be bored for like 15 minutes.
But I don't know. Most people struggle with, you know, what comes next. Like, you know, that builds up a little anxiety when you don't have it. And that brings to the next cool point that I like is lower your tolerance for stress. Dude, that's a big thought.
That's such a huge, like, you know, problem with your health and your well-being and your happiness. And that's a key to life.
Because I mean, most of us today, we look up to people who can handle high stress information. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
That's the kind of stuff we watch movies about, or we, you know, our boss is able to do this, so we kind of want to be them. Or
we go to a seminar, a class on managing stress.
Right, and it's not really about, you know, it's about how to take on more stress.
More, yeah.
You know, like most people don't think that, you know, maybe we should just try to lower the amount of stress in our life.
Right.
Like not being able to handle a lot of stress, like that's actually a pretty good quality. And if that's who you are, you got to learn about that and learn that that's part of who you are. And you got to learn ways to limit the amount of stress in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was talking to somebody with the other day. It's like, are you like looking to add more stress to your life? It's like you're creating these things and adding this stress. It's like things have calmed down and you've gotten to a groove. Like, why are you trying to create this stressful environment? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, 'cause you're so used to being in that heightened state of awareness and that heightened stress. Is like when it's gone away, you're like, is this life how life's supposed to be? Like, I need to take on more tasks.
You're like, no, you don't.
Stop.
You learn to get all your tasks done, so you're constantly in this state where you don't have stress.
Yeah, and there's like I've been reading Titan. It's about John D. Rockefeller and how he would, you know, he would take naps in the middle of the day. He would go off on walks and stuff, and people are like, what are you doing? You got a lot of work to do. It's like, I need time to settle my brain down and stuff. I can't be go all day long. Like, and I was like, he knew about that in the late 1800s. I was like, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, it's like, you know, sometimes you in that stressful situation, man, go take a walk.
Yeah.
You know? Go outside, take a breather, take a walk, and just get your mind off things. And then you might find out when you come back to your job or whatever it is you were doing, like, you know, your level for stress is higher because you just kind of relieved some of it and just took it off your back for a little bit.
Yeah, you'll be surprised that, like, taking a break and taking that stroll or whatever, you know, you'll start to come up with solutions. You'll see problems differently. You'll see different avenues of opportunity. There's so many things that come with that. It's really, really amazing once you let your body, come down, and you're going to be, like I said, I am a doctor, but you're going to be healthier. You're going to feel better.
Yes.
You're going to sleep better. There's so many things that come through. It's good. I only play a doctor on the internet, people. So
yeah. And then one of these other bullet points I just thought was funny, but think of someone as a baby, it's like,
so baby Jesus.
I don't want to pray to adult Jesus. I want to pray to little baby Jesus right now. He's all small and omnipotent. He's all a little cute in his little manger. Just like, do baby Jesus. Just like, but I just thought that was funny if you know the movie reference. But if not, it's just kind of like when you talk to a child, like, or when you're talking to a baby, like, they don't know what's going on.
Right.
I mean, you gotta sometimes think in that capacity, not to degrade people and say that they're stupid, but at the same time, you just kind of they may not realize what you realize. You know what I mean? They may be kind of caught in this little storm, so I have you say, and they can't find a way out, but you're outside the storm, so you can already see either a problem to the solution or what they're going through or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just gotta have, like Tyson was talking about earlier, patience. Like, you gotta have patience with people.
Yes.
Sometimes just think of them as like a little tiny baby or whatever. It's a little gimmick, but well, I take that back. If you like babies, think of them as, if you hate babies, maybe it's not the thing to do. But you know what I mean? Like, just being small and playful, joyful, whatever, full of happiness, full of joy. Don't really know what's going on in the world. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. When you're dealing with other people and you're looking at other people and things, understand, like, think about, like, you have no fucking clue what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
You have no clue. They could be in the midst of a divorce. Their child could have just been run over by the school bus this morning. You have no idea what's going on in their life. And give them that respect. Like, you know what? I'm not sure. Even you may think they're fucking up at work or they're dumb or whatever. Like, damn, Sally just doesn't get it. Maybe Sally don't know what the hell she don't get.
It's true.
I was talking with my wife about this. She's like, she was getting frustrated with this. Well, one of her coworkers, and I was telling her, I was like, did you try asking her, like, if she understands the role and the duty of her job? She's like, no. So then the next day she went to work and she's like, I asked her, why don't you do this? She goes, nobody's ever showed me. I've asked several people. She was like, well, let me show you real quick. She's like, thank God, I've been a year. She's like, my wife's telling me, she's like, I've been mad at this lady for a fucking year. I thought she was a moron. She just had no idea how to do it. And I was like, you let this go on for a year? She's like, yeah, isn't it sound stupid now? I was like, yes. It's like, and it took her 15 seconds. And the lady was so happy. Somebody finally showed her. She's like, I gave up learning how to do this because nobody would show me. And Brown said she's telling me, she's like, she was skipping through the hospital and she went and she corrected all of the mistakes that she had made. She said, I finally know how to do it. She was so grateful and thankful. Like, you have no idea what somebody's going through or hasn't been trained or learned or whatever.
That's just like the next bullet. It's like, be aware of your moods, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be aware of your moods. It's like, your mood can trick you into believing things.
Yes.
That's just how it ends up.
You're the easiest person to fool.
Yeah. It's like, if you're in a bad mood and you think life sucks,
guess what? You're right.
You're right. It's just like, you gotta be careful of the things that you say on a constant basis, because that becomes your belief.
Yeah, like we said before, like, understand people are gonna be, crazy, dumb, rude assholes. Just let them be and hold yourself to a higher standard, and understand that's the way it's gonna be. If you come in a room and you're positive and you understand, like, listen, Bill is just gonna be an asshole today, and that's cool. I'm gonna be, the best, friend or boss or coworker or whatever I can be to help make his day better.
Yeah. And it's one of the bullets he talks about here too, is this mood is unavoidable. It's a human condition.
Yep.
Right. We got mood swings. Like, in the morning we feel good, and when we get to work, like, we hate life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they come and go. Moods will pass.
Try watch the last couple 49ers games. My moods are like this.
You with them Niners, man. You with them Niners. But yeah.
He had a chance.
Seeing I have a chance. Gotta keep that positive attitude. But, but just moods and emotions, that's all human conditions. They come and they go, and just kind of learn to go with the tides. Recognize when you're in a bad mood, so that way you're not making dumb decisions while you're in a bad mood. Learn when you're in a good mood, so that, oh, I'm in a good mood, I can make decisions now. It's kind of like you don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry. You're going to fill your basket up with all kinds of weird stuff. You know what I mean? Make sure you eat before you go to a grocery store. Same thing with your moods. Yeah. Kind of know what mood you're in before you start on whatever task you're doing.
Go back up a few, work on, take a couple breaths, like be grateful, like
try to get yourself
pissing me off today, but man, am I glad I have a job for Bob to piss me off at. Like, and take that down and be like, how can we fix this? How can we, bring that mood, get yourself into a good mood. It's going to rub off on people. And you walk in a room and you're smiling at strangers and, doing these things, you're going to bring up the level in the room. You're going to bring up the mood, and, don't let other people bring you down. And if you're down, recognize, man, I'm down. I need to take a second to myself, bring myself back on another level, go some of that good product, breathe that in and,
slow motion this time. Yeah, good stuff. But yeah. So what are some of the other bullets we like around here?
Life is a test and only a test. Because if it wasn't, you would have got instructions on how to get out of it.
Hey, wait. We just got those instructions like 5 minutes ago. Where are they?
It was just a test.
That's true.
It was a test of the emergency system.
But see, I think that's just funny though. It's just because like that's, that goes back to life's not really an emergency. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like the emergency alert said, if there was, they'll send instructions.
Dude, I like that, dude. That's funny, dude.
That was super funny. I was like, I never thought about that. That's pretty clever.
Yeah, for sure. And there's just kind of sometimes if you think of life as like being a test, that takes you out of being in that chaos mode. It's like, oh, something horrible happened to me. It's like, okay, if this were a test, right? I mean, nobody wants to go through horrible situations. It might be. I don't know what you're going through. If you're going through hard times, there's always help. But just think of it like if this were a test, how could I better the situation, or how could I improve the odds of this not happening again? Or I mean, like you come from a place with answers, right? If you think of things as a test, like you start to look for the answers on the test.
Yeah, so, and you can allow yourself to fail the test. You can always retake it.
Yeah, well,
you can try things. And
you got one shot at life, but
you can retake the Tuesday test on Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
You give yourself permission to fail and try things. You say, hey, it's just a test. Nothing's necessarily going to be that bad. It's going to happen. You can bounce back from it. It's not a big deal.
It's like, all right, I didn't manage my horrible boss well today. Well,
right.
Let's come up with let's do some homework. Let's do some studying, and we'll tackle this horrible boss again tomorrow. See if we can make this a better situation for both of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
And was this praise and blame are all the same?
Nice. Yeah.
That's hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the bullet, but I like the part where he's talking about, he's like, if you win 55% vote, you got to remember 45% of the people hate you. I was like,
I never would have thought of that. That is interesting.
That's deep. I was like, it doesn't even think of Cat Williams. He's like, you ain't got enough haters. You better find 30 haters by tomorrow. He's like, you ain't doing something right if you ain't got enough haters.
Absolutely.
But yeah, dude, it's just like, yeah, I have the popular vote. I got 55% vote. It's like, oh, you know what? The 45% of people are going to blame you for all the bad stuff that's going wrong in your life, I'm not trying to say anything about the current president that we have, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just, like that's what I was talking about before. It's just people complain about every president from the beginning of time. And, people hated Lincoln. He's got a statue now. I mean,
Right. I mean, you know, they win the vote, but you got to remember, like, just because even if you got 50, all you need is 51% vote. That still mean half the people hate you.
50.1%.
Yeah, you got 51%, 49% still hate you, man.
Yep.
You just kind of, I mean, when you have praise, go ahead and take it and soak it up. But you know, when people try to blame you for stuff and blame you for all the things that's going on wrong, like, just, you know, you kind of gotta let that go to the side. It's like, you're just doing you. You know what I mean? Whether they approve or disapprove of what you're doing in your life, like, you can't rely on that. Yeah. Are they experts in whatever it is they're talking about? You know, it's like, are they in control of your life? Are they in your situation? Not really. You know what I mean? They're trying to put hate on you, or they're trying to put the blame on you. Don't even be involved with that. You know, it's like, if you genuinely did something wrong, apologize for sure. But you did what you had to do in that situation. That's all you can do.
Yep. I take ownership for that, and don't wrap your self-worth up in other people's opinions of you. You know, do what you got to do. Be a good person. Do the right things. No, I know it's hard nowadays. You know, the haters are loud. You know, all right, man. It's easy. Mute, unfollow, block. There's all kind of cool little things that they do now.
Yeah,
it's okay. I mean, don't ignore that thinking they're crazy. Like, sometimes there's validity in that, and, you know, take that as a grain of salt. Like, oh, dang, you're crazy, but that's you got a good point there. Like, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna consider that. You know, or like, hey, come meet up with me. Explain this to me. Like, I want to implement that as a replacement for the stupid thing I was doing. Like, I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and then but then again, just, you know, again, don't get caught up with this. Don't you have to fire back at every single person who posts a bad comment, or you know what I mean, you don't know how to answer that bad comment on your page or whatever. Just let it be.
Let it roll.
Just say, like, hey, we don't agree on certain things, and thank you for sharing your point of view, and just let it go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
What else we got?
Yeah. See the what?
See the innocence.
The innocence.
Yeah.
That's like we were talking about earlier, you know. Don't, you know, that little baby Jesus.
Yeah, but I think he's like talking about something. He's like, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to bring all the people who are mean to you. Mm-hmm. Just bring them all to me, and then from there, you're gonna get better. Like, I was laughing at that. I was like, is that really gonna work? Like, seriously? Just like,
if you can learn to let it go and forgive them for their stupidity or whatever it is that you're mad at, and just like, let it be. I forgive, and I'm gonna forget, and I'm gonna move on. It does work.
I guess so. You just put distance between them, right? Like,
I've worked with people on that thing, like, you know, something that happened, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. And it's like, just let it be. Forgive them. Like, that's 30 years ago. Stop.
Yeah.
And then they come back and said, God damn, thank you. That worked. You know?
I guess, man. I just thought that was funny.
Whatever you're doing now ain't working. Try something else.
All the people who are affecting you, just bring them all to me.
Give them to me. I'll take them all.
Then you're going to get better.
Tell them to follow me on Instagram.
There you go. That's how we do.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I like this one here, though. Freaking many people argue their own limitations. I can tell you how well I sit or resonate with that, dude.
Yes, we do.
That's like the truest crap I've ever seen. And it's like, sometimes people think that I'm, you know, like, I don't have emotions, or that I don't care about their situation. Mm-hmm. And like, I get this a lot, like, because I'm just kind of like level-headed, just no emotions about when they explain stuff. And like, this is the one thing that, you know, in the past, I used to frown upon people, or used to like give them crap. But now I've gotten good to just kind of be poker face about it. But a lot of people, when they argue or when they complain or when they hear things, like, whenever they're talking, I just hear about their own limitations. Like, you just listen, and I hear, like, when somebody comes to me complaining, I hear exactly what that person's limitations are. And I used to get mad at it before. Yeah. I don't know about that had with you, but
I get pissed off all the time. I'm like, you're just a goddamn more. I listened to what I told you to do, it. This would not be a problem.
You know, but now I just kind of let it be. And if they need an ear to listen to, then I just listen.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I go on my way. I'm not too excited about it. I don't try to feed the drama, I guess, or, you know what I mean? All of that kind of stuff. I just let it, you know, just keep a poker face and just be like, oh, okay. And then like get on with it. But, you know, this is just one of those things. Like, if you hear yourself complain, if you listen to what you're actually saying, like, you know, sometimes people argue what their limitations are. And guess what? Whatever you argue for with, you're gonna keep.
Yep.
You're gonna argue your own limitations. You guess what? You won the argument. You get to keep your limitations.
Yep.
You know. And
go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Like,
no, that's what this guy Jim Quick, he says all the time. I'm not sure where he got it from, but if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dang, that's hot. And you start thinking about that, like when you're going through that and you're playing that blame game, or you're telling me how you can't do something, like stop and just be like,
listen to what you just said.
Like, well, you know, if I stopped telling myself I couldn't do it, maybe I could. Or maybe if I stopped saying there's no solution, or it's impossible, or that can't happen, it's always this way, it's always been that way. You stop using those words, and you can start to find solutions for things, you know. But I have the same problem. Like, you know, I was talking to my sister the other day, and she's telling me about some lady got murdered in D.C. And I was like, okay. She's like, you don't have no sympathy? I was like, I don't. What the fuck do I care?
I didn't say anything. I was like,
I can't.
You know.
You're just so cold. I can't believe you don't have sympathy for somebody I don't know in a place I don't live. It sucks she got murdered, but like I don't know what you want from me. And she just hangs up the phone. I'm like, okay. But, you know, what did you want from me? I don't understand. Like, if you want to get wrapped up in other people's business, have fun with that. But you know, I don't.
I'm not gonna say that it's not tragic. I mean,
no, absolutely, it's horrible.
You have something to deal with, but you're right. Like, I don't know this person enough or well enough to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like grandma died or something. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You tell me grandma died, I'm gonna break into tears. I'm gonna be heartfelt because that's my grandma. But you know, this lady that I don't know on the street, like, yes, that is unfortunate.
Yes.
Would I be heartbroken about it the same as if my grandmother died? I don't know about that.
No. Yeah. My sister was up in arms about this. I was like, why are you so invested in this? Like, I don't. You have no sympathy. I was like, I can sympathize with these people in this situation, but I can't empathize. I don't understand. Like,
yeah, and I used to get mad at people, but now I'm kind of poker faced, and I used to be offended when people would say that about me, but now I just let it go. It's like, okay, well, sounds good. And that kind of brings us to the next bullet point, is kind of like understand the statement. Wherever you go, there you are. You know, you have to be where you are. I mean, don't constantly be wishing you were somewhere else or in that situation. Like, try to put yourself in that situation. Like, you don't need to necessarily do that.
Mm-hmm. And also goes, you know, along the same lines of, if you keep moving jobs or moving places, and it's like always the same problems, always the same things. There's only one constant there. Like, you know, maybe time to look within a little and say, hey, is it me being a little bit weird here? Or is, you know, I'm pretty sure these people aren't following you around, you know, so.
I mean, it's possible, but it's just kind of like, we talked about it earlier too, with the whole FOMO thing. It's like, you know, it's like, you're going on a vacation in Hawaii, like, be happy you're in Hawaii. Don't worry about what people are doing in Cabo, because you see it on there. Like, you can be happy for them and get back to your hometown. You guys can talk and be like, hey, I see you guys did this in Cabo. And it's just like, you know, it's like, oh, this is what I did in Hawaii. And like, you guys can exchange stories and I mean, have a good time and like bond with one another. But at the same time, you got to be where you are.
Yep. Being present, being in that present moment. You know, don't get caught up in that anxiety of future thoughts or that, you know, disdain for the past. You know, be where you're at. Learn, do what you got to do. Understand what's in your control and outside your control, and keep moving.
Yeah. Cool. What else we got here?
Coming in a less aggressive driver. Like, of all these things in this book, like, interesting thing to like talk about, you know. And I'm sure we all experience it. Maybe we are the aggressive driver or not. I laugh. I think it's just so funny.
Yeah.
Trying to inch into you and cut you down. Where are you going? What?
I mean, it just, to me, depends. A lot of times I am that aggressive driver, but I'm not that mad aggressive driver. Like,
Yeah.
I just drive because I like to drive. Like, I'll try to make the gap, and
Right.
I wouldn't say I speed. I'd say I accelerate pretty quickly. So like, if the speed limit's 35, like I'll go from 0 to 35 pretty quick. But you know what I mean? Like I won't go over 45 in the 35. Not anymore anyway. I've just I've expended my lifetime limit on speeding tickets. I just need to stop with that. But I thought this was just an interesting point. When you drive, like, you know, just become less aggressive. Like, you don't need any added stress. If you're like me, like I relieve stress when I drive, which is kind of weird. But I mean, it looks like I drive like a mad driver, but I'm actually focused and I'm in control. And like, I don't know, I kind of like it. But
yeah, that's to me when I'm driving. What, you know, that's my time for myself mostly. Doing my podcast or my books, you know.
Yeah.
If I get somewhere 35 seconds later than I needed to, like I could have, big deal. You know, like I'm not putting wear and tear on my car, wear and tear on my body, you know, getting worked up because there's traffic, which ain't nothing to do with me, ain't out of my control.
And if you're constantly that person who's speeding, like maybe you should just leave the house a little earlier. Like, just possibly.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe time yourself or do some calculations. Like the difference between arriving somewhere going 65 and 75 is not very much.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a minute or two, three. Like it's not even a big deal. The wear and tear on your like I said, on your soul, on your car, on your gas tank, it is not worth. You know, it's 87 seconds quicker somewhere.
Yeah, cool. All right, what about this other one? This next one, I think you like this one too, yeah?
This is one that's hard. Read books and articles with a point of view different from your own.
Yeah, I guess for most people that would be.
That's hard, man.
I guess I've always done this kind of weirdly.
I like to try. I actively try to seek out things that don't, you know, give me my confirmation biased.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, you've known me forever. Like, have I ever been a normal person? Like, I've always been like on the weird side, like outside the box. Like, so like I feel like everything I read is a different opinion from my own. No.
Right? Yeah,
I'm so different from people. That's just like I read stuff like I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about, because I know you feel my opinion anyway.
Right. Yeah, and you and I, especially, you know, I guess growing up in Hawaii and stuff, we have such a diverse group of friends and people we've been around. There's so many different viewpoints naturally.
Different cultures and all that kind of stuff come from. So I'm actually interested in different points of views. I'm not so much in the political space though, but
that's where it's hard.
I don't even know if it's hard. I'm just not even interested. Like,
yeah, and there's things that just aren't interesting. But like I try in topics I'm interested in, or like when I was looking for some new books, I was like, what is something I would never read? Like I would never read Rockefeller's biography. I bought that up. I bought up Ulysses S. Grant and stuff, and some other thing. Nothing to do with what I would ever be interested in. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something different and see. And I've been absolutely loving it.
Yeah, there are. I definitely think that. Yeah, like if you're looking for something to do, like try to spice it up. Be like, what would I never read? Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, because it's easy for us to, you know, like confirmation bias. You just keep finding the things that confirm your biases, and if you don't think you're biased to that. We're all biased. We all have our biases. We all have our things. It's okay. That's the way we are. You know, but sometimes it's interesting to listen to somebody like, you know, so you know, and genuinely like. How did you get to the viewpoint on the Earth is flat? Like, I'm interested in understanding this.
Yeah, and that's
listen.
But that's just the same thing too. When I shared that book with you about the power of intention, I was like, I don't know if he's gonna do this, but maybe we'll see. That was kind of cool.
But I would have never picked that book up, ever. And I absolutely enjoyed it. I got some lines in there I still like to use. You know. Yeah. And I jumped on Wayne's, I know he's passed away now, but I jumped on his email list. I get some things from him. I watched the movie. I went out and found another couple of things on him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I was generally interested, and I thoroughly enjoyed. And I'm glad you brought him and that book into my life. I've learned some things, and
Awesome.
it's fun. See, when you get outside of your own things, there's things to find. It's fun.
And this is kind of related to the next one I want to talk about, is like you become what you practice.
Yep.
And if you're reading the same articles and watching the same news source and watching, hanging around the same group of friends, like you kind of just become one-sided to things.
Yep.
If you are open to other people's points of view, right, you start doing things that are new and trying all these things, like you then become like a different person, right? You get new skills, you acquire new things, new perspectives on life. You know what I mean? It's like if you want something different for your future, you're going to keep doing the same things. Like, that's the definition of insanity.
Right.
I tell you that.
And that's what we try to kind of show, is give you all these different thoughts and perspectives on things so you can walk into all these different situations and already have a base level of training you can default to.
Yeah.
And then, the other thing too that was good here is, to be flexible with your time. Things come up, things change, you got to be able to adapt and understand like where you're at, what's going on, and like, oh, hey, this is happening. I don't get crazy and frustrated about it.
Yeah. And this is kind of like one of the things like this book teaches you, like put things on the back burner, be flexible with your time. Like it kind of forces you to focus on what's really important. Yeah. It's like there's 100 things you can do today. But you could probably maybe do 10 of them. Yep. You got to pick which 10 are important. Yep. You got to know which ones are not so important. You got to know which ones are important, and you got to know why those are important to you. Yep. Those are all these things, and again, coming from this place of peace, abundance, and gratitude, like all of that comes together.
And that happened to me Monday. Whatever I got myself down into, and I was like, dang, like I just messed up my schedule. I was like, I spent way too much time on this thing. I didn't plan, and it's like, at first I was like, no, hold up. It's all right. Shit happens. It's just the way the day went. I'm cool. Like, I spent too much time on it. I kind of, it's kind of late in the act, but I caught myself like, dang, spent way too much time. Like I looked down the clock and I was like, shoot, but I was like, I just got to push those things back, cut where I could cut, and just move on with my day.
Yeah. And this again brings us right to the next point. It's like, think of your problems as teachers.
Ooh.
It's like you just have this new problem come your way, be flexible with your time. Think of it as a test. And it's like, okay, well, can we put this on the back burner? What if we put this, we have 10 things to do today, and now I can only do 3 of them. What if we put item number 1, 7, and 8 on the back burner, and we just did 2, 4, and 6? I mean, and like, this is kind of where, again, you learn, you grow, right? You start to handle, instead of doing your old thing of like wigging out. Oh my God, I'm stressed out. I can't handle all these problems. Like,
who's coming with me?
Just kind of learn. Be like, okay, how can we think of this as a test? What can we do? It's like, this problem is here to teach me something, either how to use my time better or how to handle my emotions better. What can you learn from the situation rather than just wigging out? I don't know.
Yeah. No, a good thing I learned from Tim Ferriss, a thing he does when they're working on projects and different things like that. They ask themselves, what would this look like if it were easy? And start brainstorming. We wouldn't do it. Okay. Like we would outsource it. Okay. Like you start to come up with all these things. Like, if this is easy, what would it look like? And you start to look and say, can we let's not do it. Okay. Well, no, we want to do it. Outsource it. No, we want to have some control, but maybe we can outsource some elements of it. Maybe we can throw a little bit of money at this thing, or, all these different things. You start to come up with a lot of different things if you start thinking about the problem in a different way. Right. Try that. If it was easy, what would this look like? And just start going. Every crazy thing you have. And then when you're done with all the craziness, look back and say, which of these make sense that we could actually do to make this easier?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then let's see what else we got here. Become an early riser. I like it.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I do. But I don't. I don't know.
This is a tough one. Now, what an early riser is, that's up to you. You don't have to be like, Jocko at 4:30 in the morning getting up, but at the same time, I did this, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something ago. I used to sleep until Titus, my son, would wake me up and like, Dad, let's go. We gotta go to school now. I'm like, yeah, let's go. and I kind of wander out of bed and, take it to school, and then my day kind of starts to get going. And next thing I know, look down at the clock, it's 10 o'clock. I'm like, dang. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start waking up at 6:30, because we used to have to leave at 7:30. And ever since I've been doing that, it's like, I kind of leisurely get up, I do my meditation, all these things I want to do. And I'm like, 7:15, I chat a little. It's like, 7:30, let's go. And then I come back home, I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. I was like, man, I got a lot of stuff done, So don't dismiss it. Like if it's going to sleep an hour earlier, shutting off Dancing with the Stars or whatever you watch, like, hey, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I don't know about being early riser, but I definitely agree. Like whatever that time is, like take the first part of the day for yourself.
Yes.
Like we're so caught up with life. Life gets in the way of everything else. Like get up, and the first part of your day should be for you. Like for me, I try to go for a run in the morning, or at least go for a walk while I'm walking, thinking about all the things I'm grateful for. Like just start your day off right. Like that's I can't stress that enough. You may not have to rise early, but
whatever that is to you. If it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 3,
at least take that time out of the day for yourself. The earlier, the better, for sure.
Yep. Absolutely. So whatever your alarm time is now, I challenge you guys, set it an hour earlier, go to bed an hour earlier, because that's what you're going to need to do. To wake up an hour earlier, you're going to go to sleep an hour earlier, and give it a whirl. I won't guarantee your life will start to be better.
Yeah. And taking us to, I guess, our next part, realize the power of your own thoughts. I just kind of like that. Whenever bad thoughts come your way, just shoo them away and get on with your day. Like it's cute, little cute one there. I like that.
Like right now, a lot of you are thinking, I can't do that. I can't wake up earlier. You're out of your goddamn mind. keep telling yourself that.
Shoo that thought away. Don't even put
telling yourself that.
I mean, just try it.
Yep.
But yeah. And then I guess the last one here, I'll let you tackle that we have on the list here.
More is better, and what's next?
Oof. Yeah.
That is so true. I was listening to a podcast the other day. These guys they're the minimalists. And he was saying the average American has 300,000 items in their house. Nice. That blows my mind.
Yeah. And then even in this book, the guy's talking about like this guy bought it wasn't a mansion, but it was a decent sized house. He bought like a brand new house.
Yeah.
He didn't even live in it for one day. He got in there the first day and he's like, on my next house. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, you didn't even enjoy the first house you bought.
Yep.
Why are you thinking about what's next? Yeah.
You haven't even nicked the paint on the wall. Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus.
You haven't even slept in your bed yet, and you're already thinking about the next house. But I think that's just America, dude. America is so good at selling the American dream. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get this big house. I'm going to get this next house. Like, you got to stop.
Yep.
You got to stop.
Yep. I know. Anytime my grandma comes over to my house, she's like, you have all these empty spaces in this wall and this thing here. I'm like, yeah, I like it like that. I don't need things to fill spaces. Like, it's okay if my bathroom is completely empty. Like, that's fine.
And that's just like, so this book recommends decide that you want less. Again, we only have so much time in this world. We only have so many resources to expend. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to learn to focus on what matters and pick the things that matter and enjoy them.
Yep.
Keep focusing on the next best thing, There's going to be 100 million next best things. Can't tell you how many next best things you can chase. Like, hopefully through all of that, you at least enjoy the chase.
Yeah.
I pray that you at least enjoy the chase. If you hate the chase and you're always chasing what's next, that's not a life to live.
Stop.
You got to stop.
Yeah. That was the thing I learned, I liked from that Minimalist podcast. The guy was saying, if there's something you want to buy, put that in the shopping cart or whatever on your wish list or whatever it is. And then in 30 days, come back to that. And if you still want it, go ahead and get it. If not, just let it be. He was saying like when he started doing that, he's like, I would come back and like, not even 30 days. I'm like, just delete this out of here. I didn't, it was cool in the moment and let it go. And like, I was trying out with my kids, like Titus saw something on YouTube, this thing, and I was like, if you still want that at the end of the month, I'll get it. He's like, okay, that sounds fair. And at the end of the month, he's like, Dad, I still want these magnet things. He's like, I was like, all right, cool. You know, cause I mean, before I'm like, oh, that's a cool toy, and I'll get it. And it just sits over here, you know, and you know, it gets played with for a little bit, and then that's the end of it. And I've got 300,000 toys.
Yeah.
You know, that was something I like to splurge on. And now I've, you know, made the decision, like, these are a lot of things that just sit there and collect dust, and then we got to constantly give away. And I'm like, let's start doing this. Like, if you want this in a month, like we can get it. But, you know, other than like books and stuff like that, like I'm okay. Like, let's just grab those up. But anything else, I'm non-essential. Wait 30 days.
Ah, cool. Nice. All right. So what else we got here?
That's it for this book. That was our fun things we liked, some of the themes and everything, and that was that. You know, if you guys enjoyed what we had to say, you know, maybe pick it up or don't.
Yeah. Or if you enjoy what we say, maybe that's the best parts of the book. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. If you got this far, you probably are just fine without the book, unless you want it as like a reference manual. Yeah.
Or unless you just want to hear what we just said all over again. Nice.
Did we start from the beginning? We should go back. Welcome.
Yeah. But anyway, what we got for a giveaway this month?
You know, we you know, this is the beginning of October. With the winners were contacted for last week's thing. I want you to guess. We had this one winner from this other country. It blows my mind. Just throw out a couple of guesses.
I've looked at the stats. We only have listeners from other countries, like Australia. Just like
some guy won in the Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yes. Okay. I was so excited. I was like, "That's crazy."
Australia. I don't know.
I came back this address, and I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Dang! Like, how awesome is that?" That just blew my mind. I thought it was so awesome.
All right, cool, sweet.
Yeah. Super cool. I'm so excited that somebody, you know, you're getting the book. Probably gonna break the bank to send it, but I don't really care. It's gonna be. I'm so excited about it.
Nice.
So cool. But it's October, and this is gonna be the last month of giveaways. And I'm gonna do we're gonna do something kind of big. You know, I'm gonna do what I call like the leadership pack. It's gonna be Jocko Willink's new book. The Dichotomy of Leadership, and then the prequel to this, Extreme Ownership, as well as Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy and The Obstacle is the Way. I call this the Leadership Bundle Pack. I think it's going to be good for you guys. So head over to thesocialchameleon.show. Get into this giveaway. It's the last giveaway of the year. It's going to go through all the month of October. On the 31st, my birthday is going to be the last day. Nice. And then for November, December, we're going to be giving back. I'd like you guys to join in on that too. I'll towards the end of the month, I will be announcing more about that. So jump into the last giveaway of the year, the Leadership Bundle, Extreme Ownership, the Dichotomy of Leadership, Ego is the Enemy, and The Obstacle is the Way. All 4 of those books to one amazing lucky winner. I don't care what country you're in. I'll send it to you. I don't care if it costs me $100.
Nice. All right, cool. Sweet.
And then do we have any, you know, any resources or anything for people? I think this book is.
Yeah, this book is unique in its own, but similar. Definitely Power of Intention.
Yeah.
We talked about that. These are very similar. Again, Power of Intention is a lot more spiritual, #religious kind of thing. So if you're into that, maybe that book might be just as equally good for you as well. If you're not into that, maybe this book is better.
Yeah, go to episode 20 where we talk about that one if you're interested in seeing what that's about.
Okay, cool. And from there, we got challenges.
Yes, this week's challenge. I challenge you to not sweat the small stuff. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get up an hour earlier, take a cold shower, go through the day without complaining. Don't get mad at someone for something out of your control. You don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. Give them the benefit of the doubt and hold yourself to the highest standards. What can you stop sweating? What can you ignore? What can you focus on that's in your control?
Ah, nice, man. Nice.
Ransom, can you bring us home? What do we got here?
Yeah, and that's just final thoughts. This book is mainly about gratitude. You know, being grateful for the things that are in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Being in a state of peace. Coming from a place of abundance. You know, where you already have everything that you could possibly have. You don't need any more. Mm-hmm. Right? You're not angry, because you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Right? You're happy. You're at peace. You know, you have control over your thoughts and over your emotions. Final thoughts for today are choose peace. Choose gratitude over all else. That's final thought, man.
Yeah, and if maybe the book isn't something maybe for you or for your friends, maybe this message is, and I'd like you to share it with them and help people, help spread the word, let's help, you know, bring this message and gratitude and all these things to, you know, more to the mainstream. You know, share this with a few of your friends. You guys can all follow us all week long at the Social Chameleon Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. If you're listening to the podcast app version, I would like you guys to leave a review if this is something, you know, you thought was valuable and you'd like to help us spread the word to other people just like you. If you and for everything, all the links and everything to get this book and the show notes and everything like that, you guys can head over to thesocialchameleon.show. And until next time, keep learning, growing, and transforming into the person you want to become.